aka Miss WC Reader, and welcome back to my channel. And welcome to my fall TBR. So I've been seeing a lot of fall content kind of coming across my Explore page recently, which has me very excited because I'm seeing people excited about different books to read during the fall. I'm seeing people share their fall recipes. I'm seeing people's decorations. If you've been around here for a while, you know I love fall. Last year, fall was a clusterfuck for me. I did not get to celebrate the way I would have wanted to, just because life was really hard and I had lost my dad at the beginning of fall, so that kind of like ruined fall for me. And as much as I tried to enjoy it the best I could, it was like one thing was happening after another was happening after another. So this year I'm hoping fall is going to be a lot better. I mean, I'm still on the job hunt, so there's that, but I do have a trip planned that I'm working on for September, for the end of September at the start of fall, which is going to hopefully be awesome. And I have a lot of great books that I want to read, so let's get into them. I will have them linked in the description box below as well. I do get a small commission if you use my link and buy from Amazon, so if that's something you are planning on doing, would appreciate it. But anyways, here's what I have. So I have Half Resurrection Blues by Daniel Jose Older, which I have been meaning to read now for like a year. I bought this used, it's no longer in print. I saw it on like my Libby as well, like a couple of my libraries, but like it's a book that's a little harder to get your hands on. But it's, from what I hear, a great urban fantasy series. I have read Daniel Jose Older before, but his middle grade in YA, so it'll be interesting to read something adult for him, especially because this was written before. So it says, Carlos de la Cruz is one of the New York Council of the Dead's most unusual agents, an in-betweener. Partially resurrected from a death he barely recalls suffering after a life that's missing from his memory. He thinks he is one of a kind until he encounters other entities walking the fine line between life and death. One in-betweener is a sorcerer. He's summoned a horde of imp-like NGKs capable of eliminating spirits, and they're spreading through the city like a plague. They've already taken out some of NYCOD's finest, leaving Carlos desperate to stop their master before he opens up the entrada to the underworld, which would destroy the balance between the living and the dead. But in uncovering this man's identity, Carlos confronts the truth of his own life and death. I love like a good urban fantasy that's supposed to be like really driven, which I really do need a good one. Not enough urban fantasy has been coming out this year, at least on the traditional publishing side, and that is my jam. So I've heard nothing but good things about this, and since it is something that's like out of print, I did go ahead and buy the other two books in the series. I think there's like more, but I think they're like novellas, like prequels and like spin-offs and stuff like that. But I do have two other books in the series. If I enjoy this one, I can jump right into those. I have Darkwater Disappearance by Katie Richards, which is a Harlequin novel. So I used to be really good at reading like one Harlequin novel a month, and then I just kind of fell off. And it's not because I don't love Harlequin, I do. I love like the quick reads that they have. I love how I can pick a category and kind of have an expectation of what I'm going to get. It's just comfort food in that way. And I've read Katie Richards before I started this series. I think she's like 10 books deep or something by now, so I definitely need to catch up. But this is a part of the West Investigation series. There was no quiet homecoming for Nikki King, not with a body discovered on her lakefront property and Terrence Sutton's unexpected arrival. The police detective is convinced his sister's disappearance and the threats Nikki has been receiving are connected. Nikki would rather avoid the man who once let a family feud tear them apart. But can she afford to refuse his protection? Not with danger lurking in the dark water just beyond her doorstep. I love a good romantic suspense, and I think these will be great to just curl up with during the fall. I have this other one in the same series as well. And like, you don't have to read Harlequin books like that are in the series like back to back to back, especially for certain series you'll never catch up if you try that. They are written as standalones and they're not like too overly connected that you'll miss anything if you don't read them in order. But I still suggest reading book 1 in this series just because it is very good. Journalist Simone Jarrett and Carling Lake Sheriff Lance Webb have kept their casual affair clandestine to avoid gossip. But as his feelings for Simone deepen, Lance is troubled by the knowledge that she's hiding something. Then, after 20 years, the card killer strikes again, and Simone's secret puts her in the killer's sights. Now, the two must team up to find the murderer and save Simone's life. So this is Catching the Carling Lake Killer. Ooh, got more books here. So we have R.S.A. Garcia's The Nightward. I got this arc from Harper Voyager. I'm super excited about it. I've been following like R.S.A. Garcia and vice versa for a couple of years now. She is a Trinidadian fantasy author, which is pretty cool. She's won some awards for her novella work. I read one of like her short stories. It's interesting to read something full length, and this felt like a little bit different from the stuff I've been seeing come out of Voyager lately, because I feel like that's all been like almost like YA-ish type of stuff, and this sounds like firmly like adult, but it also had like an interesting twist to it. For 500 years, Gaia's hand has stood as a ward against the dark. The Age of Chaos is a faded memory. The goddess has left Galen and given her blessing to the queens to rule in her stead. Princess Viella of the court of Hamber is the spirit of Gaia, a presumptive heir to the throne and budding wielder of magic. And yet, she's still a child. Not yet. 10 years old. And a day spent evading her teachers and her dutiful bodyguard Luca is much more satisfying than learning about telepathy, illusions, and other spell, or obeying even her mother, the queen. There is time enough until there isn't. For the night the queen hosts a ceremony to confirm Viella as the next hand of Gaia, everything changes for her. In the most horrific way imaginable, Viella's mother is assassinated. Now Viella is queen. Luca, despite resenting his position as royal babysitter, does not hesitate. He rushes his charge from the court and vows to keep her safe, yet he is unsure how to help a burgeoning hand of Gaia, let alone contend with his place as a man in a matriarchal world and the secret that is burning inside him. Together, they are on the run from darkness in a world where the lines between magic and technology are blurring, and it's up to a child and her protector to bring clarity and light back to the queendom. So that sounds pretty cool. Nothing like anything I've read recently, and I said I was super interested in picking it up by R.S.A. Garcia because I am here for more Caribbean authors in the SFF space. I have Claire Kahn's Looking for Love in All the Haunted Places. And like, there's been a lot of these paranormal rom-coms that have been really, or like paranormal romances that have been very popular in trad the past few years, but they haven't really been hitting for me. Like, they're not like the indie or the OO's ones that I enjoyed, but this one sounded a little bit different, which made me want to pick it up. Lucky Heart has a special affinity for the supernatural, but almost no one takes parapsychology seriously. She's estranged from her family, lost her friends, and has been rejected from graduate school twice. But her big break finally arrives when she gets insider info about a troubled production company. Every actor on their new show mysteriously quits after spending 3 nights inside Hennessy House, an old Victorian with a notorious reputation. After scheming her way onto the show to investigate, Lucky meets Maverick Phillips, and chemistry instantly crackles between them. He tempts her in ways no one ever has, challenging and supporting her, and making her finally feel seen. Their connection is so palpable, everyone notices it, including Hennessy House. Now, Lucky and Maverick's relationship has a challenger, the lonely, sentient house, desperate for her undivided attention. As love begins to clash with her career, Lucky refuses to choose one over the other, because everyone deserves a happily ever after, even houses with haunted hearts. But when her plans begin backfiring one by one, she realizes that if she wants to have it all, she'll have to risk everything. So this is cool that like the house like is a character. It's just kind of competing for its attention. Then I have another one by Sierra Birch. I read her debut last year. I really appreciate that she's also bringing shorter books into middle grade because lately everything feels like a tome. But this is a summer camp horror thriller type of situation, which I know it's not summer anymore, but it's coming out in September. I got this copy from Simon & Schuster, and I liked her debut. I thought it was like pretty good, so I'm interested to see just how she levels up in this one, hopefully. Naomi loves all things outdoors, in theory. She prefers to get her information through books. Cold, hard facts are hard to argue with. That's important for someone who speaks up as infrequently as Naomi. When her parents announce that they're getting divorced and are sending Naomi and her twin little brothers to summer camp, Naomi dreads the impending hands-on nature experience and the split household she'll find when she returns. Once there, Naomi is surprised that Camp Twisted Pine is not so bad despite the creepy name. The counselors are nice, her cabin mates are fun, and Naomi easily finds herself in a routine of s'mores making and nature walks. But when Naomi begins to encounter strange silvery marshes in the woods and unearthly sounds, it becomes clear that campers aren't the only ones who roam Camp Twisted Pine grounds. People start to go missing, including Naomi's crush and cabin mate Jackie. And it seems that a creepy local urban legend might be more real than anyone thought. Using her scientific reasoning skills, Naomi must find a way to make herself heard or save everyone and herself before it's too late. Also, I love like she's a very science driven heroine. That's something interesting and unique that we don't see enough of. Ooh, I got a few more. I know, very ambitious fall TBR considering I'm going to have other books in here. These Toxic Things by Rachel Housel Hall. Mickey Lambert creates digital scrapbooks for clients, ensuring that precious souvenirs aren't forgotten or lost. When her latest client, Nadia Denham, a curio shop owner, dies from an apparent suicide, Mickey honors the woman's last wish and begins curating her peculiar objects to art. A music box, a hair clip, a keychain, 12 mementos in all that must have meant so much to Nadia, who collected them on her flea market scavenges across the country. But these tokens mean a lot to someone else too. Mickey has been receiving threatening messages to leave Nadia's past alone. It's becoming a mystery Mickey is driven to solve. Who once owned these odd treasures? How did Nadia really come to possess them? Discovering the truth means crossing paths with a long-dormant serial killer and navigating the secrets of a sinister past, one that might, Mickey fears, be inescapably entwined with her own. So Rachel Housel Hall is like an acclaimed thriller author. I tried reading one of her books recently. I mean, not tried, I did read it, I just didn't enjoy it. I don't remember the title exactly. Something None. But I didn't love that one, but I always did want to try her again because I do hear so many great stuff about her writing. Thrillers tend to mostly be missed for me. Like, a lot of them don't give me the thrilling excitement that I want, but I think it just means I need to pick up more and better thrillers. I've heard great things about this one. This one was published through Amazon Publishing. A lot of people loved it. I believe it's on KU. And like I said, I wanted to read a different Rachel Housel Hall just to see, is she the author for me? Me a mystery, and I have another one here. This one is All That Is Secret by Patricia Raybon. In the winter of 1923, Professor Annalise Spain, a daring but overworked theologian at a small Chicago Bible college, receives a cryptic telegram calling her home to Denver to solve the mystery of her beloved but estranged father's murder. For a young black woman searching for answers in a city ruled by the KKK, that could mean real danger. Still, with her literary hero Sherlock Holmes as inspiration, Annalise launches her hunt for clues, attracting two surprising allies: Eddie, a relentless young orphan boy searching for his missing father, and Jack, a handsome pastor who loves nightclub dancing and rides in his sporty car, awakening Annalise's heart to the surprising highs and lows of love. With their help, Annalise follows clues that land her among Denver's powerful elite. But when their sleuthing unravels sinister motives and deep secrets, Annalise confronts dangerous truths that could make her a victim too. I've heard good things about this one, and also it's the first in a series. Book 2 is out. I don't know if book 3 is out, but I have book 2 as well because I kind of won them as a package deal in a giveaway. And so yeah, this one has been sitting on my shelf since the beginning of the year, and I need to pick it up soon. Then I have this one I got from Scholastic. It's The Lonely Below. It came out recently, but like I heard nothing about it, so I messaged them. I'm like, can I have this one so I can like read it and shout it out to the world? And they said sure, and they rushed it to me. Blythe Academy isn't a normal school. Ava can tell. There's something off, something wrong. She learns that 50 years ago, part of the school collapsed, killing a classroom of students and their teacher. Things haven't been the same since. Soon, Ava's having unnerving visions and terrifying run-ins with ghosts. She doesn't think the collapse was just a tragic accident. It was caused by a malevolent force, and that force is back and hungry for more. Will Ava be able to discover the truth of Blythe Academy and save lives, or will it be too late? So this is kind of like a haunted special school situation. Everybody's doing like these dark academies lately. It's a big trend right now between middle grade and YA, and even adult to an extent. So I'm trying all different ones, and of course this one has a black heroine, so I had to pick it up. Then I have One Blood by Deneen Miller. I feel like I got this one last year, but I just had no urge to pick it up at the time. I know it's supposed to like be like a homegoing type of situation, but also it's supposed to have like a fantasy aspect to it, so we will see. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I'm curious to find out. I feel like the summary is a little bit spoilery kind of, so I'm just going to not get into that for you guys. But definitely look up One Blood. I have linked below if you are interested. So I have Bad Witches by H.B. Akumiya, and this is a debut. It says, in H.B. Akumiya's lively and charming debut, 3 young women discover the unbelievable. Their witches and their newfound magic may be the key to saving the world. The witch sphere is in turmoil. In the years since a stunning betrayal sent shockwaves through society, the sphere was hit with a crisis. Witches are giving birth to more typics, aka non-witches, and their numbers are diminishing. Nadia is determined to help, but she finds her efforts at the witch health organization entangled with the political machinations of her powerful mother. A public relations assistant, a teacher, and a former child star walk into a bar bathroom on what happens to be all of their 22nd birthday, and like many 20-somethings, they become fast, tipsy friends. But unlike most 20-somethings, their night of partying ends with an accidental act of magic. Suddenly, Maya, Gabby, and Delali find themselves thrust into a world of spells and potions with only a mysterious mentor as a guide. As the girls learn to harness their new power, Nadia starts to notice spikes in the magic baseline and suspects an unknown cadre of witches may be the key to solving the typic crisis. Can this unlikely coven come together and save the sphere, or are there darker forces at play? Either way, these bad witches are going to find a way to have some fun. So I thought that was interesting. Like, I heard about this a while back, and then I heard it come up again, and I wasn't really seeing any promotion for it, but it was also comped to Insecure, and it's supposed to be like an urban fantasy type of situation. Urban fantasy is always my vibe, so I'm always interested in seeing what's coming out. And it has black leads, which is another cool thing about it. Not a fan of the way they did the cover. I feel like they could have given us a better cover. Even if it's just like a drink on a bar, that would have given us like more of an indication of what's going on in the story. But overall, I do have the audiobook. I'm excited to sit down and listen to it, and I'm hoping it delivers on being like funny but also magical. And then I just have like one more. I'm pulling up my NetGalley so I can find it. I mean, like, you all know my TBR is always jam-packed. And this one is Till the Last Beat of My Heart by Luigi Beaumontes. This is a YA fantasy. And it is also queer. Yay. So it says, in this YA contemporary fantasy, the teen son of the local mortician accidentally reanimates the dead body of the boy he had more than friendly feelings for. But can he keep him alive for good before their time runs out? When you grow up in a funeral home, death is just another part of life. But for 16-year-old Jackson Santiago Nobel, it's also part of his family's legacy. Most dead bodies in the town of Jacobsboro wind up at Jackson's house. His mom is the local mortician, after all. He doesn't usually pay them much mind. But when Christian Reyes is brought in after a car accident, Jackson's world is turned upside down. There are a lot of things Jackson wishes he could have said to his once best friend and first crush. When he accidentally resurrects Christian, Jackson might finally have that chance. But the more he learns about his newfound necromancy, the more he grasps that Christian's running on borrowed time and it's almost out. As he navigates dark, mysterious magics and family secrets, Jackson realizes that stepping into an inherited power may also mean opening up old family wounds if he wants to keep the boy he may be falling for alive for good. So yeah, this is perfect for fall. And it's coming out September 10th. I'm going to try and read this real early in September, so not quite in fall, but like I said, it's giving fall vibes. It'll be linked, so if that's something you're interested in, definitely check it out. Let me know if any of these books sound interesting to you. If you like this video, make sure and hit that like button. And thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!